Welcome to the COMC Community Spotlight Show, presented, of course, by the great folks at Central Ozarks Medical Center, where your health is their mission. And we've got one of the big guys in the community with us this week on the show. It's Nathan Bechtold, our good friend from Lake Expo. How's Nate?
Nate is great.
Good.
How's
to see
Chris?
you. I'm good. I'm not as good as you because you're like model pretty and everything.
Whatever.
But yeah, it's good to see you. We actually have been friends for a few years.
Yeah, quite a while.
But I don't have you on I had you on the show one time, long time ago, to talk about Lake Expo, which you are an editor and a partner and everything. So figured you guys have grown so much in the last few years. Had to get you back on, talk about all the things that you guys are doing and why all the growth at Lake Expo and everything. But let's start at the beginning. How long have you been around and how did Lake Expo get started?
I've been around the lake since 2010.
Okay.
My family's been around the lake since, I don't know, before
Really?
the dam. There's some current discussion on how far back we
Still
go, but family's been
figuring that
around
out.
here a while. My dad had moved away from the lake, but then I brought my family back here, so we live here. So I've been at the lake since 2010. I've been with Lake Expo since 2012. Lake Expo was started 4 years before that, in 2008, by Brent Simpson. He had actually been with Lake Media locally for a while before that, and then stepped away and decided to start his own purely digital thing. He kind of felt out different ways of doing it, and just kind of was one guy doing everything, sales and running around taking pictures of crazy stuff. And he had a little fishing boat with Lake Expo logo on the side of it. And there were some very humble beginnings. He was like, "Dude, Lake Expo was started from a double wide." That's awesome.
That's the way the good things start.
That's right, man. So he hustled really hard for. Still is, but for 4-ish years, and then brought me on. I started freelancing, writing and editing and stuff, and then in 2013, I told him, hey, I'd like to make this like my full-time thing. And Lake Expo at that point didn't even have any employees. It was just Brent with subcontracted freelancers.
Yeah.
And so that was a big growth moment for the business. And I told him, listen, I love business too, so I would love to be part of the business someday. Let's talk about the whole thing. So we worked out kind of an equity arrangement over time and all that stuff. So I'm a partner, minority, partner in the business now, and I love that. I love running, helping make decisions on the business side of things. And so I'll even do marketing, sales, and stuff sometimes, and then. But my kind of central role there is the editorial director or editor. I run the content production side of the house.
Right, yeah.
So those are kind of like Lake Expo is like two things, and it's not so different
As
really
most
from Lake
businesses
TV.
are.
Yeah, it's like we have content, and the content grows our audience, and then we have marketing, and so we have people that are selling marketing, handling marketing campaigns, and all that.
Yeah.
So I kind of go back and forth between them, but mostly I'm running the content side.
And when you read a Lake Expo story, there's a lot of times that you've written it. You're the author of it.
Sometimes.
If you're not the author, you're an editor, and you go over and so, but it's kind of rare to find somebody that has the talents that can write, edit, and do the business side of it too. Usually it's one or the other, and this guy kind of covers both those areas.
It's easy when it's fun.
And you mentioned though, you just started out with Brent, then you come aboard, now you've kind of got a team. Not just a team, you've put together a pretty talented group of people over there.
We have, man. I love the team at Lake Expo. Through the years we've grown and folks have kind of come and gone, and we're thankful for all those people. The team we have right now is just a team of rock stars. From our sales marketing consultant team, Jill and Stacy, they love helping businesses create and execute successful marketing campaigns. They're not just slinging ads. They really, really care about businesses, and they want to see them succeed. So they rock. Our sort of execution person, that sounds weird, but
who are they killing?
The executioner, Kathy, who actually we should call her the executioner, Kathy the executioner. She executes all the campaigns and manages all kinds of things, so she's a really central hub for us. Of course, Brent, as our publisher, manages everything from the business side to sales. So if I'm out, sometimes he's writing articles, even if I'm on vacation. You may even have read something that Brent wrote, because and then And then on the other side of the house is me, and then Tegan, our associate editor. You see Tegan Pasley, you see her name a lot on articles, and actually you would see it more if certain ones she just didn't put her name on either, because she doesn't want somebody knowing who wrote that article, or it's like, I don't care, whatever. So she does a ton of stuff on the editorial side for us. She stays super busy. And then Robbie Brewer handles the social media for us and some video stuff. He's editing, doing some video editing, like for my podcast and for different kind of things that we're doing. Then we have a whole team of freelancers that do stuff for us, everything from drone videos for clients to going out and shooting feature videos. So we're kind of like, we have our core staff and then a lot of really awesome freelancers. And I think obviously there's no possible way we could do it without those people. And they make what we do work, and they make it actually really fun too. Because it's fun when you work with people who are good, who are better than you at stuff, right?
Yeah, they've got their strengths. That's what they do. That's why they're there.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's a really, really cool feeling to go, you know what? You should do this because you're better than me at this.
Right. Yeah. But as I've talked with other business leaders, the best leaders are the best delegators because they find good people and they delegate that
I've had
work.
to learn that one, actually. I'm not a great delegator because I always think I can do everything.
Yeah.
And certainly, I think I can do a fair amount of things reasonably well, but that's what's been fun, is to find people that are like, oh, I can't do it as well as he can.
Yeah, they're really good at it.
That's actually forced me to delegate, to go, well, do you want a subpar product that you did, or do you want it to be excellent and have them do it? And so that's actually kind of cool.
The best leaders figure that out at some point. So you guys are basically like a digital newspaper, right? Okay, you cover the lake area, all the stories around the lake, breaking news. You've got weather with the radar, which I love. If I'm going out on the boat, I go to Lake Expo, I check the radar, see what is going to be happening. So you offer all of that at lakeexpo.com. You also offer all of that on a phone app, which is pretty amazing, and you get to watch Lake TV on the phone app.
That's right.
So we're going to talk about that when we come back on the COMC Community Spotlight Show. At COMC, your health is our mission. Central Ozarks Medical Center offers 3 OBGYNs at the Osage Beach Clinic and 2 pediatricians with same-day appointments available. At COMC, our doors are open to everyone with 5 primary care locations conveniently located across the Ozarks. COMC for the best medical, dental, and behavioral health care. Get more info on how COMC can help you at centralozarks.org. COMC, where your health is our mission. Welcome back to the COMC Community Spotlight Show, talking with Nathan Bechtold, editor, partner of Lake Expo, kind of does everything over there. Great writer, probably the best writer in our region. If you haven't read anything from Nathan, go check it out. Although you got some people on your staff that are pretty good too. So journalism has really kind of got a bad name the last few years, for good reason. I mean, we've seen it in the media, very poor journalism, if you want to call it that. Is that do you guys do journalism at Lake Expo, or is that not your thing? How do you look at that?
Yeah, that is such an important topic, because you first have to say, okay, well, what is journalism?
Yeah.
Right? And I think that communities all want something like journalism, which is really just like storytelling that's true stories about what's happening in a place, right? I mean, in the old, long time ago, they would have correspondence, and a correspondent was somebody who was in another place and would send correspondence, right? It was like a letter, or it was written that way about what's happening in this place. So communities need that. Certainly, the mainstream media, national news outlets, corporate media, all that have really tarnished journalism's name. And that's sad because journalism is a good thing when it's done right.
Yeah.
Like communities. And so what I think has been cool to see is that in certain ways, individuals are filling that gap. You see on social media, I see a lot on X, people who go out and almost kind of guerrilla journalist style and go like undercover or go uncover some crazy.
We saw that recently with that Nick Shirley guy
the
in
Minneapolis
Minnesota.
stuff. Yep. So that's great, and that's good journalism. So that's cool. I don't love that that happens on those social platforms. I mean, listen, it's good broadly because it gets it spread everywhere.
Yeah.
But I have no idea, Nick Shirley or some of the other guys, how they like fund that. I mean, who's paying them to do that? Are they just, if it's a hobby, cool. Like, I mean, good on you if you have time, like that amount of time for that hobby. But I do think there's value for communities to have people who have made a career out of journalism, out of like truth telling, out of telling the story of your community and doing it, admitting that sometimes you get things wrong and you go back and make a correction, but like doing it the very best, most truthful way that you can.
Yeah.
It's good to have that on some level institutionalized, because then you have people who can devote their heart and soul and their career to that work. You know what I mean? So I like the kind of independent journalist kind of thing, but then I just wonder how that's going to play out. I don't know. I mean, on social media, maybe a new guy, maybe there's so much craving to like have social media success that there's a line 1 million people long that would love to go have a viral thing that Elon Musk, retweets or whatever.
Right.
I don't know. But for us, we want to tell the stories of the lake well. That means asking hard questions. That means talking to people that might not talk to everybody. So that's one thing I love about my job, is that I get to talk to fascinating people that are doing big things.
Yeah.
And they will talk to us.
That most people won't get to talk to.
Right. And so what I want to do is give then our audience the chance to hear from that person, right? And we do that through articles, increasingly through some video, through the podcast, other ways that we do that. Because to me, that's like the service we render our community, is like, hey, you get to hear from people that are doing big things in the community when you may not have gotten the opportunity to have a one-on-one conversation with that person.
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to do.
That's kind of the most special part of the job.
Yeah.
For me, I think, is to talk to somebody who started developing what the lake has become. And most people don't even know who they are, because that was 50 years ago or something.
And there's an art to storytelling too. I mean, I'm not saying I'm perfect at it, but there's a lot of people that like admit I can't tell a good story, right? So I think there is an art to that where it's done well, where the person telling the story explains the stakes here. What's going on? Why does this matter? What's next? Asking the right questions. That's what we at least want to do well in journalism. And so I think there's something to that, like to being able to do that well and to tell those stories well and tell them in a compelling way that people actually want to read them.
But that's what makes you a good editor. Is just hey, you got to add this and this and this and this to it. It can't just be that.
Writers love when I tear their stuff apart.
The editors are the most favorite
love
people.
That.
Okay, we're down to our last 60 seconds here, but before you go, you have an app. We mentioned it briefly.
Download the app. Yep.
Yeah, and it's free from the App Store.
App Store and Google Play.
Lake Expo app, and on that you get everything from Lake Expo, and you can watch Lake TV.
Yeah.
So download the Lake Expo app for free. Also, you do a podcast. Where can people see your podcast?
Take on the Lake is the name of the podcast, and it's primarily, you'll find it on like Facebook if you want to watch the video version of it. But it's on almost all the podcast downloading apps, like the audio version, Apple Podcasts and all the other places. YouTube as well, but it's called Take on the Lake. And it's been fun. I've gotten to bring a lot of those people that we were talking about onto the show to talk more in depth about what they're doing, why it matters. So
that is so cool. How do people find Lake Expo? Basically, it's a digital newspaper. How do they find it?
LakeExpo.com. Download the app, sign up for the Lake Alert e-newsletter, which is a daily e-newsletter with all your headlines, and follow us, of course, on all the socials.
Of course. There he is. Hey, so much to talk about. We're going to have him back.
I'll do it.
Nathan Bechtold, thank you. Thank you for joining us for the COMC Community Spotlight Show.